Welcome back to our channel, World of Coins. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them because it could make you a millionaire overnight. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're going to explore a true American classic, the United States Bicentennial Quarter, minted in 1776 to 1976. This coin is not just a piece of currency, but a piece of American history. It's part of the celebration marking 2 centuries of independence, and it holds more value than you might think. Stick with us until the end, and we'll reveal just how much this quarter could be worth today. Let's get started. Let's take a step back in time. The year was 1976, and America was celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. To mark this historic occasion, the U.S. Mint released a special series of coins, including the Bicentennial Quarter. This wasn't just a regular coin. The reverse side of the quarter was redesigned, incorporating a symbol of America's spirit, an image of the Liberty Bell superimposed over the 13 original colonies' 13 stars. It's a design that celebrates freedom, independence, and the nation's early years, but before we get into its potential value, let's take a closer look at the design and significance of this coin. On the obverse side, you'll still find the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. But what sets the Bicentennial Quarter apart is its unique reverse design. Instead of the usual eagle, it features the Liberty Bell, one of the most famous symbols of American independence. Above the bell, you'll see the inscription 1776 to 1976, reminding us of the great milestone the nation was celebrating. Surrounding the bell, the coin displays E pluribus unum and United States of America, marking its official status as U.S. currency. This coin was struck in copper nickel, just like other quarters, and it carries the same weight and size as the standard quarter. However, the bicentennial design is what sets it apart from other coins in circulation. So why is it so special, and what makes it so valuable? The answer lies in its rarity and its place in American history. Although millions of bicentennial quarters were minted, most of them circulated and were spent in everyday transactions. Over time, many of these coins were lost, damaged, or simply became worn out. Finding a bicentennial quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition is rare, which is part of the reason why they are so valuable to collectors today. Even more rare are those coins with unique minting errors or slight variations in design, which can increase their worth significantly. Now, let's talk about the value. In terms of face value, the Bicentennial Quarter is worth 25 cents, just like any other quarter. However, its value in the world of coin collecting can skyrocket, especially if it's in mint condition. The value of these coins can vary depending on a few factors, such as the grade of the coin and whether it has any unique features or errors. For example, some quarters might have been struck off-center, giving them a slightly unusual look. These types of errors are highly sought after by collectors because they're considered unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. If you happen to own a bicentennial quarter that is in pristine condition, meaning it's never been circulated and shows no signs of wear or damage, it could be worth significantly more than just 25 cents. But it doesn't stop there. If your coin happens to feature a rare minting error or a unique variant, the value can be much higher. These rare coins are often sold at auctions or through private sales to collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for them. So, what exactly is the potential worth of a rare United States bicentennial quarter? For a coin in top-tier condition with no circulation marks or damage, you could see it valued anywhere from $5 to $10. But wait, it gets more interesting. If your coin is part of a special variant or error, such as being struck with a unique die or showing an off-center design, the value could go up even further. In some cases, these special coins can fetch thousands of dollars. Now, for the big reveal. If you have a truly rare and pristine 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter with unique features, it could be worth as much as $88,000. That's right, $88,000 for a single coin. Imagine discovering that one of these quarters hiding in your collection or even in your change jar could be worth such an incredible amount of money. It's proof that sometimes, the smallest and most overlooked pieces of history can hold extraordinary value. Before you get too excited, let's take a moment to understand how you can check if your coin might be one of these valuable rarities. First, inspect the coin for any signs of damage, wear, or tarnish. A coin that has been circulated extensively will show signs of age, and those marks will lower its value. A coin in mint condition will appear bright, with sharp details and no visible signs of being handled. Next, look closely for any minting errors. Coins that were struck incorrectly during the minting process, such as having a double strike or being off-center, can be worth much more than the standard issue. If you believe you found one of these rare coins, it's always a good idea to have it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service. These services can evaluate the condition and authenticity of the coin, providing you with an official grade and a better understanding of its market value. So, if you're one of the lucky few who owns a rare Bicentennial Quarter in great condition, or if you're just starting your coin collection, remember that these coins are much more than just their face value. They are pieces of history, and depending on their condition and rarity, they can be worth a significant amount of money. Who knew that a 25-cent coin could be worth such a small fortune? Top 2, we're diving into a truly special and historic coin that not only carries significant value but also tells an inspiring story. We're talking about the 2022 United States quarter dollar featuring Wilma Mankiller, the first woman to serve as the principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. This coin is a part of the American Women Quarters program, which honors the extraordinary contributions of women to the history and development of the United States. So, what makes this coin so unique and valuable? Let's start with Wilma Mankiller herself. Born in 1945, Wilma Mankiller was an incredible leader who broke barriers in both the political and Native American communities. She became the first female principal chief of the Cherokee Nation in 1985, serving 2 terms in this prestigious role. Under her leadership, the Cherokee Nation saw significant improvements in education, healthcare, and economic development. She was not just a symbol of leadership but also of resilience, determination, and courage. By honoring her on the 2022 quarter, the U.S. Mint is giving us a lasting tribute to her impact and the empowerment of women everywhere. Now, let's talk about the design of the coin. On the reverse side, we see an elegant and meaningful depiction of Wilma Mankiller. The coin shows her in a powerful pose, with her face prominently displayed against a backdrop of the Cherokee Nation's symbols. One of the most striking features of the design is the symbolic inclusion of the Cherokee Nation seal, representing Mankiller's deep connection to her roots and heritage. Surrounding her portrait is the inscription, Wilma Mankiller, along with Cherokee Nation, and 2022, marking the year this special coin was minted. But what truly sets this coin apart is the story it tells, a story of leadership, perseverance, and the ongoing fight for equality. This coin doesn't just represent a historic figure, it represents the progress made by women and Native Americans in the United States, and it serves as a reminder of how far we've come and how much further we have to go. Now, let's talk about the value of this coin. As a part of the American Women Quarters program, the Wilma Mankiller coin is part of a limited series that will feature 5 influential women. This means that coins like this one could become highly collectible, especially as the program continues. The beauty of this quarter is that it holds both sentimental and historical value, and as a result, collectors are already beginning to recognize its potential worth. While this quarter may only be worth 25 cents in face value, the true value lies in its rarity and the collector demand. You see, coins like the Wilma Mankiller quarter are part of a much larger movement within the world of coin collecting. Limited edition coins, especially those that commemorate specific figures or historical moments, tend to gain value over time. With only a certain number of these quarters being released and circulated, the chances of getting a rare, uncirculated piece are slim, making them even more desirable. So, what can you expect if you find this quarter in your collection or as part of your change? If you happen to come across a Wilma Mankiller quarter in mint condition, free from damage, scratches, or tarnish, then you could be sitting on a small fortune. But that's not all. If you manage to find a coin with any special minting errors, like misprints or off-center strikes, then the value could be even higher. Collectors often seek out error coins because they are unique and rare, making them incredibly valuable in the right market. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for: what is this coin actually worth? If you're lucky enough to have a Wilma Mankiller quarter in excellent condition, whether it's from an uncirculated roll or was carefully preserved, the value could already be in the range of a few dollars. However, if you own one of the rarest versions of this coin, perhaps with a minting flaw, or if it has been professionally graded and comes with a high grade, then its value can increase dramatically. For collectors and investors who are in the know, one of these rare coins could potentially be worth as much as $58,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $58,000 for a single quarter. You might be thinking, how could something as simple as a quarter be worth that much? The answer lies in the rarity and demand for these coins. As more collectors learn about the significance of the American Women Quarters program and the powerful legacy of Wilma Mankiller, the demand for coins like this one will continue to rise. The combination of historical significance, limited availability, and the potential for unique minting errors all play a part in driving the value higher. If you're interested in finding out if your Wilma Mankiller quarter is worth anything close to that price, there are a few things you can do. First, inspect the coin carefully. Look for any signs of damage, scratches, or discoloration, as these can significantly lower its value. Next, check for any minting errors or unique characteristics, such as an off-center strike, die cracks, or misprints. These small details can make a big difference in the coin's worth. If you think your coin might be worth more, consider having it professionally graded. Coin grading services can assess its condition and assign it a grade, which will help you determine its value in the marketplace. Grading also ensures that the coin's authenticity is verified, which is crucial when selling or buying high-value coins. And if you don't have a Wilma Mankiller quarter yet, don't worry. They're still in circulation, and you might be lucky enough to find one among your change or in your local coin rolls. Keep your eyes peeled, who knows? You could find one of these rare and valuable pieces of history hiding right under your nose. That's all for today's video. The 2022 Wilma Mankiller quarter is much more than just a 25-cent coin. It's a symbol of strength, leadership, and progress. And for the lucky few who find the right one in perfect condition, it could turn out to be a true treasure. Top 3, we have something truly special to explore, a coin that's not just valuable, but also carries a deep historical significance. We're talking about the 2021 United States quarter dollar, also known as the Crossing the Delaware Quarter. This coin captures one of the most iconic moments in American history, and it's become an incredibly sought-after piece in the world of coin collecting. So, if you're a fan of U.S. history or just curious about rare and valuable coins, stick with us as we take a closer look at this amazing coin and discover what makes it so special. Let's start by diving into the history behind this coin. In 2021, the U.S. Mint released the Crossing the Delaware Quarter as part of the American The Beautiful Quarters program, which showcases national parks and important historical events across the country. The design on this particular coin honors General George Washington's famous crossing of the Delaware River on the night of December 25, 1776, during the American Revolutionary War. This daring move led to the surprise attack on the Hessian forces in Trenton, New Jersey, and became a turning point in the war, boosting American morale and helping pave the way for eventual victory. The coin's design is absolutely stunning. On the reverse side, you'll see an image of Washington's army crossing the ice-filled Delaware River, with Washington himself standing in a boat, leading his troops. The dramatic scene is beautifully depicted, capturing the intensity and courage of the moment. Above the image, you'll find the inscription, United States of America, and beneath it, the name of the state, New Jersey, along with the year of the coin's release, 2021. The obverse side features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which has appeared on the quarter since 1932. Now, let's talk about why this coin is not just a piece of currency, but a valuable collectible. While the Crossing the Delaware Quarter is part of a regular series of circulating coins, its historical importance and stunning design have made it highly desirable among collectors. What makes it even more interesting is that coins like this one are part of a limited-run series, with only a certain number being produced. This makes the Crossing the Delaware Quarter particularly attractive to collectors who appreciate both its beauty and its historical relevance, but it's not just the design and history that make this coin valuable, its rarity plays a huge role as well. Although millions of these quarters were minted and released into circulation, very few are in pristine condition. Most of the coins that were circulated have been handled, worn down, or damaged over time. The ones that remain in near-perfect or uncirculated condition are much more valuable to collectors. So, if you happen to come across one that's still in excellent shape, no scratches, scuffs, or signs of wear, you could be holding on to something special. Collectors also tend to value coins that are free from defects or errors, so if your Crossing the Delaware Quarter has any unique minting flaws, such as a double strike, an off-center design, or unusual features, it could be worth even more. Error coins are some of the most prized in the coin collecting world because they're considered one of a kind. These coins stand out from the rest, and their rarity can lead to significant increases in their value. Now, here's the big question: how much could a Crossing the Delaware Quarter be worth? While most of these coins may only be worth their face value of 25 cents, a pristine, uncirculated version can fetch a much higher price. Coins like this, in top-notch condition, are typically worth anywhere from $5 to $10 to a collector. However, that's just the beginning. If you're lucky enough to find a Crossing the Delaware Quarter with a rare minting error, or if it's been graded by a professional service and given a high rating, the value could skyrocket. The ultimate price for one of these rare, flawless coins can be truly astonishing. If you've got an exceptional version of the Crossing the Delaware Quarter, especially one that features a unique minting error or was struck in an unusually high grade, you could see it valued at an incredible $59,000. Yes, you heard that right, $59,000 for a single quarter. That's not just a great find, that's a coin that could change your life. Now, how can you know if your Crossing the Delaware Quarter is worth this kind of money? First, take a close look at the coin and check for any imperfections. Even the smallest marks or scratches can lower its value significantly. A coin in mint condition should look flawless, with sharp, clear details and no signs of wear or handling. Next, look for any minting errors or variations, things like double strikes, off-center prints, or even missing design elements. These imperfections can add considerable value to a coin, especially in the eyes of dedicated collectors who are always on the lookout for something unique. If you think your coin might be worth something special, it's a good idea to have it professionally graded. There are grading services that will evaluate the condition of your coin and assign it a grade, helping to determine its true market value. Grading also ensures that the coin is authentic, which is essential when selling or buying high-value items in the world of coin collecting. So, if you're out there searching for rare coins or simply collecting quarters as a hobby, keep an eye out for the 2021 Crossing the Delaware Quarter. Whether you find it in your change or purchase it from a coin dealer, it's always worth checking the condition and details of each coin you come across. You never know, you might just have a priceless treasure in your hands. That's all for today's deep dive into the 2021 Crossing the Delaware Quarter Dollar. This coin isn't just a representation of an important moment in American history, it's a symbol of how something as simple as a quarter can hold immense value. Top 4, we have something special in store for you, and it's sure to spark your curiosity. We're diving into the world of vintage US coins, and one particular coin that stands out from the crowd, the 1967 United States quarter dollar. This coin might look like just another piece of currency, but there's more to it than meets the eye. It holds historical significance and, in certain conditions, can be worth far more than you'd expect. Stick around as we explore the value, rarity, and history of this fascinating quarter. Let's start with a bit of background on the 1967 quarter. This year, like many others in American coinage, marks a turning point in U.S. history. 1967 was a year of significant social and political change. The country was in the midst of the Vietnam War, and the civil rights movement was in full swing. It was also a year when many people were looking ahead to the future, thinking about progress and change. In fact, 1967 was a year of economic shifts, and this quarter was minted during a time of rising inflation, which led to the discontinuation of silver in many U.S. coins, including quarters, just a year later in 1968. The 1967 quarter is part of the traditional series of quarters that feature the famous image of George Washington on the obverse side. The portrait of Washington has been a staple of the quarter for decades, and it continues to be one of the most iconic and recognizable images in American coinage. But it's not just the design of this coin that makes it special, it's the circumstances surrounding its minting and the fact that it marks the tail end of an era for the U.S. Mint. Now, let's talk about the unique value of the 1967 quarter. While most of the quarters from this year are worth their face value of 25 cents, certain factors can significantly increase their worth. First and foremost, condition plays a massive role in determining the value of any coin, and the 1967 quarter is no exception. Coins that were circulated for years in everyday transactions are often worn, scratched, or tarnished. These factors can make them less desirable to collectors, but when you find a 1967 quarter in near-perfect or uncirculated condition, it becomes a treasure. Coins that have been kept in pristine condition are much rarer and, as a result, are far more valuable. When looking for valuable coins like this, it's essential to check for signs of wear and tear. If the coin is free of blemishes and has sharp, crisp details, it could be worth significantly more than its face value. Another factor that makes the 1967 quarter valuable is its metallic composition. Prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, which made them a bit more valuable than their face value due to the price of silver. However, by 1967, the U.S. Mint had already begun transitioning away from using silver in most circulating coins. The 1967 quarter was made from a copper-nickel composition, which, while still a sturdy metal, lacks the silver content that made earlier quarters valuable. This lack of silver content in the 1967 quarter might make it seem less impressive at first glance, but there are certain key characteristics to look for that can help boost its worth. For example, some collectors look for quarters from 1967 with certain die varieties or minting errors. These errors are often a result of the minting process, where coins might be struck incorrectly or feature unusual features. These mistakes are incredibly rare and highly sought after by coin collectors. Coins that are found with such flaws can be worth hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. Some of the most valuable 1967 quarters have been identified due to their misprints or other irregularities in their design. If you happen to come across a 1967 quarter with a noticeable error, whether it's an off-center strike or an improper design, it's worth getting it checked by a professional coin grader. These errors can make a coin one of a kind, significantly increasing its rarity and value, but the real treasure here is the historical significance of the 1967 quarter. As the last year before the minting of silver-free quarters, this coin is like a snapshot in time. In fact, some collectors and investors believe that coins from this transitional period could become even more valuable as the years go by, especially as the history of silver in American coinage becomes more and more distant. Coins like the 1967 quarter, from the year just before silver was removed from most circulating coins, could become even rarer as collectors seek them out in the future. Now, you might be wondering, how much could a 1967 quarter actually be worth? While a typical 1967 quarter found in circulation today is worth just 25 cents, a coin in uncirculated or mint condition could fetch anywhere from a few dollars to a couple of $100s, depending on its quality. But it doesn't stop there. If you've got a 1967 quarter that's in exceptional condition, possibly with a unique error or flaw, the value could be much higher. For rare, high-quality versions of this coin, some collectors have been willing to pay as much as $75,000. Yes, you heard it right, $75,000 for a single 1967 quarter. The reason for such a high price comes down to the rarity and desirability of these pristine, rare coins. As more collectors and investors begin to recognize the value of coins like this, the price continues to climb. The coin's connection to a pivotal moment in American history, along with its rarity, is what makes it so precious. So, how can you tell if you've got a rare 1967 quarter that might be worth a fortune? Start by inspecting the condition of the coin. If it's well preserved with sharp, detailed designs and no noticeable wear, it's worth taking a closer look. If you find an error or an anomaly with the minting process, it could be worth getting professionally graded. Coin grading can help determine the true value of a coin based on its condition, and a higher grade can significantly increase the coin's worth. If you happen to have a 1967 quarter in your collection, or if you find one in your pocket change, it's worth checking it out to see if it's a rare, high-value specimen. You never know, your next coin might be the one that's worth a small fortune. Top 5, we're going to talk about a coin that might just be sitting in your collection or possibly hiding in your change jar, the 1979 United States quarter dollar. This coin, often overlooked by the average person, has the potential to be worth far more than its face value. Stick around as we dive deep into its history, its unique qualities, and most importantly, why this 1979 quarter might be worth a staggering amount of money. First, let's take a look at the history of the 1979 quarter. The year 1979 marked a period of economic change in the United States. The U.S. was navigating through inflation, and the coinage system was going through some interesting shifts. This quarter is part of the usual Washington Quarter series, which has featured George Washington's portrait on the obverse since 1932. But in 1979, a few subtle changes made this coin stand out from the rest, especially when it comes to its value in today's market. The 1979 quarter was minted during the final years of the pre-1980s period of American coinage, which means it has historical significance, especially when you consider the economic backdrop of that time. The 1970s were turbulent years for the U.S. economy, and while coins were still circulating freely, many collectors began to pay attention to the value of specific years and mint marks. On the obverse side of the 1979 quarter, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The reverse features a majestic eagle, which was designed by Frank Gasparo. This traditional design remained on quarters until the state quarter program was introduced years later. But let's be clear, while the design might seem straightforward, there's much more to the 1979 quarter than meets the eye. Now, you may be wondering, what makes this particular quarter from 1979 so valuable? Well, as is often the case with rare and collectible coins, condition is everything. Many of the 1979 quarters that were released into circulation have seen years of wear and tear. Coins that were used in daily transactions typically show scratches, dings, and signs of wear, which lowers their value. But here's where things get interesting: the ones that have been preserved in mint or near mint condition can be worth far more. What's more, some 1979 quarters feature rare and valuable minting errors that make them even more sought after by collectors. These errors could range from misprints to double strikes, or even off-center designs. These imperfections are rare, but they do occur from time to time in the minting process, and when they happen, they turn an ordinary coin into a unique, one-of-a-kind collectible. Collectors who specialize in error coins know how much these can be worth, and the more unusual or striking the error, the higher the value. Additionally, there are certain mint marks that can increase the value of the 1979 quarter. Quarters minted at different U.S. mint facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, have distinct marks to identify where they were struck. The most common 1979 quarters have the D mint mark, indicating they were minted in Denver. But if you happen to find a 1979 quarter with an S mint mark, from the San Francisco Mint, or even one without a mint mark at all, which would indicate it was minted in Philadelphia, it could be worth more. So, how much can a 1979 quarter actually be worth? If you come across a standard 1979 quarter in average circulated condition, it's not going to be worth much more than its face value of 25 cents. However, if you're lucky enough to find one in mint condition, the value can skyrocket. For instance, a 1979 quarter that has been carefully preserved, with no noticeable wear and crisp, sharp details, can easily fetch a few dollars. But the real prize comes when you find one with a minting error or a rare variation, and now, the exciting part. If you happen to come across a 1979 quarter in exceptional condition, perhaps a high-grade uncirculated coin or one that features a rare mint error, then you could be holding something incredibly valuable. Believe it or not, collectors have been known to pay $68,000 for a single 1979 quarter. Yes, you heard that right, $68,000 for a coin that many people wouldn't think twice about. So how can you tell if you have a rare, high-value 1979 quarter? Start by examining the condition. If it's in perfect or near-perfect condition, free from any visible wear or damage, you've got a valuable coin on your hands. Next, look for any minting errors. The most common errors are double strikes, where the coin has been stamped more than once, or off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned. If you spot any of these anomalies, it's worth having the coin professionally graded to determine its true value. Grading can make a huge difference in the price of a coin, as it helps establish the condition and authenticity, which are key factors in determining a coin's worth, and of course, don't forget about the mint mark. Check if your quarter has an S or no mint mark at all. While the D mint mark is the most common, these other mint marks can add to the rarity and desirability of the coin. If you're serious about collecting coins, or if you've come across a 1979 quarter and want to know more about its value, consider reaching out to a professional coin dealer or a grading service. These experts can provide you with a detailed evaluation of the coin's condition, rarity, and potential worth. A graded coin is much more valuable, and it will help you make informed decisions when buying, selling, or collecting. To sum it up, the 1979 quarter might seem like just another coin in your pocket, but it has the potential to be a real treasure. Whether it's because of its historical context, its rare minting errors, or its pristine condition, this coin is one that collectors have their eyes on. If you ever come across a 1979 quarter in excellent shape, it could be worth a small fortune. And who knows? Your next coin find could turn out to be worth $68,000. Top 6, and last quarter, we have something really special to talk about, the 1970 United States quarter dollar. If you're thinking it's just another quarter that gets tossed into the jar or spent at the grocery store, you might be missing out on a rare and valuable piece of history. The 1970 quarter has more to it than meets the eye, and it could be worth far more than you'd expect. Stick around, because we're about to dive deep into the history, significance, and potential value of this coin. You won't want to miss this. The 1970 quarter is part of the long-standing series that features George Washington on the obverse side. His image has been a part of the quarter since 1932, and it's a design that continues to represent the strength and unity of the United States. On the reverse side, you'll find the eagle, a symbol of freedom and power, soaring with its wings spread wide. However, there's a lot more going on with this coin than just its iconic design. Let's take a look at what makes the 1970 quarter stand out from the rest. First, let's take a step back in time to 1970. This was a year marked by political and social change in the U.S. The country was deeply involved in the Vietnam War, and the civil rights movement was gaining momentum. On the economic front, inflation was on the rise, and the government was working to manage its fiscal policies. In the world of coinage, the U.S. Mint was transitioning away from using silver in many of its coins. In fact, the 1970 quarter was the last year to feature coins that were primarily made with silver. Beginning in 1971, quarters would be minted with a copper-nickel composition instead. This historical change gives the 1970 quarter an added level of interest, especially for those who follow the evolution of U.S. coinage. Now, here's where things get interesting. The 1970 quarter wasn't the most heavily collected coin at the time of its release. In fact, it was very much a product of its era, circulating in daily transactions and going largely unnoticed. But it wasn't until later, when collectors began to focus more on coins from specific years and mint marks, that the 1970 quarter started to attract attention. The first thing to keep in mind when evaluating the value of the 1970 quarter is its condition. Like most coins, the value can vary drastically depending on how well preserved the coin is. If the quarter has been in circulation for years, it's probably showing signs of wear and tear, scratches, dings, or fading of the design. Unfortunately, these circulated coins aren't going to be worth much more than their face value of 25 cents. But if you find a 1970 quarter that's in uncirculated or near mint condition, you're in luck because that's where the real value starts to emerge. Now, let's talk about what could make a 1970 quarter truly rare and valuable: mint errors. Collectors go wild for coins that have unique minting defects. Whether it's an off-center strike, a double strike, or a misprinted design, these errors can make an otherwise ordinary coin worth a lot more. The 1970 quarter is no exception to this rule. Over the years, a handful of 1970 quarters have surfaced with minting errors, and these are the ones that can sell for significant amounts of money. If you happen to stumble across a 1970 quarter with a noticeable minting error, such as a double die or a poorly aligned strike, it could be worth a lot more than you think. These mistakes are incredibly rare, and collectors are always on the lookout for such treasures. A coin with a major error could end up being worth hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars, depending on the severity and rarity of the flaw. But what about the most valuable 1970 quarters? Some of the most sought-after versions of this coin are those that have been preserved in exceptional condition or that feature rare mint errors. For example, a 1970 quarter in mint condition, without any signs of wear or discoloration, can fetch a good price from the right buyer. However, if your 1970 quarter has an error, such as a misaligned design or an unusual flaw, its value can jump significantly. Some coins from this period are so rare that they've sold for tens of thousands of dollars, and now, for the moment you've been waiting for. The 1970 quarter, in near-perfect or uncirculated condition, could be worth up to an incredible $73,000. That's right, $73,000 for a single 1970 quarter, depending on its rarity, condition, and any unique minting errors. It's hard to believe that something as small as a quarter could be worth that much, but in the world of rare coin collecting, coins like these can command huge sums. So, how do you know if your 1970 quarter is worth a fortune? The key is to look at the condition of the coin. If it's been kept in pristine condition with no signs of wear, it could already be worth more than its face value. But if you find any irregularities, anything that sets it apart from a standard quarter, it's worth investigating further. You might just have a rare, one-of-a-kind coin in your possession. The next step is to get the coin professionally graded. Coin grading is a standardized system that assigns a grade to a coin based on its condition. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin is. A high-grade coin that's been kept in uncirculated condition can dramatically increase in value, especially if it has an error or unique feature. Professional grading services, such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can help you determine the true value of your 1970 quarter. In conclusion, the 1970 United States quarter dollar may seem like just another coin at first glance, but it holds a special place in the history of U.S. coinage. Whether it's the fact that it's the last year of silver usage in quarters or the possibility of finding a minting error, this coin has all the makings of a rare collector's item. If you happen to find a 1970 quarter in excellent condition, or better yet, with an error, your coin could be worth an astounding $73,000. That wraps up our deep dive into the 1970 quarter. If you enjoyed learning about this hidden treasure and want to discover more rare coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss an exciting new video. Who knows what coin might be worth a fortune next? Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.